What is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video on my sports Gematria. In this video, I'm going to go over a UFC fight for Saturday, March 4th, 2023. I'm going to show you highlights of each side, and it's going to be up to you to determine who you think will win based on the numbers. I encourage you to add additional information on top of this if needed for you to feel confident in your own pick. And I wish you guys the best of luck on all your picks for this fight, for this day, for this event. Let's go ahead and get to the fight. We're going to be looking at the main event only for UFC 285, Jones versus Gane. The reason why I'm only looking at the main event is because out of the 5 fights, well, other than Gamrot and Turner, it has the best, I guess, betting odds per se. But even with that said, I'm not going to be betting on this fight. I think there might be some fuckery going on in this fight that I just don't feel like dealing with or sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for a result. John Jones, he hasn't stepped in a ring in, 3 years, but yet he's a minus 180 favorite. You know, people would say that at the height of his career, he was, doing a little bit of the sniffy. So you have a sober John Jones, hasn't been in the ring for 3 years, and he's a favorite. It just screams fuckery to me. So, but I'll go over the numbers for each side, and you guys can decide on what you want to do, who you want to pick. It'll get you started on a decode, add to a decode that you already have maybe. But let's just go ahead and go over both sides here for the fight. On this side of the screen is what I call my daily numbers, date numerology, Gregorian Hebrew calendar. And on this side of the screen is what I call my game numbers specific to the game. The way I have it structured here is I have the event up top here, the location, city, state, stadium. I have the weight class right here. And then I have one fighter right here, his name Gematria, his birthday to and from, his fight record, any type of winning or losing streak that he's on, as well as his UFC record. In the middle is the last names head-to-head, as well as I put championship because this is for the heavyweight championship title. At the bottom is the other fighter named Gematria, birthday to and from, fight record, any type of win or losing streak, as well as their UFC record. So let's just go ahead and jump right into this. I always start with the fighter that's on the bottom. So we'll start with Cyril Gane. I'll go over some numbers for Cyril to win this fight, and then I'll go over some numbers for Jones to win this fight. So starting with Gane, if Gane was going to win this fight, the day does have 30 date numerology on the Gregorian. His opponent, John Jones, does some to 30. Cyril Gane can get his 12th win for his career. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. 12, if you write it out, does some to 30. So 30 date numerology on the Gregorian. His opponent, John Jones, sums to 30. Cyril can get his 12th win, for his career. 12 sums to 30. It'll be a day with 30 and 50 date numerology on the Gregorian. Cyril Gane sums to 50. He's currently 32 years old. Jones versus Gane sums to 131, the 32nd prime number. Championship sums to 131, the 32nd prime number. Cyril Gane can win the heavyweight championship or sustain or keep the championship belt at the age of 32. 131, the 32nd prime. Championship, 131, the 32nd prime. He's currently 32 years old. This will be his 13th fight for his career. And Jones versus Gane sums to 41, the 13th prime number. And Cyril Gane could become 9-1 for a UFC record with a win. 9-1, 91, the 13th triangular number. Jones versus Gane sums to 58, just like championship sums to 58. John Jones can get his second loss all time for his career as he gets his second UFC loss to go with. Number 2 written out does sum to 58. And I think that's kind of it, really, for Cyril Gane's side. It was just kind of very basic and straight to the point. I guess one last thing we can say is that Cyril Gane. Well, here, let me put, what is it? World Heavyweight Championship. Correctly. So this is for the World Heavyweight Championship. World Heavyweight Championship sums to 132. And in Cyril Gane's 13th fight, he can get his second win in a row, kind of like 132. If that were to happen, Jon Jones would end his 17-fight winning streak. I mean, he's on a 4-fight winning streak, but there's a no contest in the middle of it. Not in the middle of it, but so we could look at it two different ways. So you see there's this no contest here. So he's on this winning streak, right? But then there's a no contest, and then there's 4 more fights. So, you know, you can either say he's on a 4-fight winning streak if you count the no contest, or he's on a 17-fight winning streak if you don't count the no contest. If you don't count the no contest, he can end his 17-fight winning streak as Cyril Gane gets his second win in a row. 2 and 17 are kind of like the anagrams of 271, which is the 58th prime number. Again, Jones versus Gane sums to 58. Championship sums to 58. The number 2 sums to 58. Jones can get his second loss for his career, second loss for UFC, as he ends a 17-fight winning streak, and Cyril Gane gets his second win in a row. And you can even mark this 2, or I can mark this 2 as well, because again, 2 written out sums to 58. So that's what I would put for Cyril Gane to win this fight. Let's move on to Jon Jones. What would be some numbers for Jon Jones to win this fight?
Sorry to interrupt this video, you guys, but I need a huge favor from you. Can you go ahead and like this video and leave a comment below on who you think's going to win? It's going to help with the YouTube algorithm. It's going to help grow my channel. I really appreciate you guys being here. Let's go ahead and get back into the video.
Well, for Jon Jones, it could be as easy as his record. If he wins this fight, he could become 2-7-1 for a fight record in his career. We just went over this number. 271 is the 58th prime number. Jones versus Gane sums to 58. Championship sums to 58. Instead of Gane getting his second win in a row, he can just get his second loss for his career, second loss for UFC. And we just went over previously 2 sums to 58. It will be a day with 50 and 30 date numerology on the Gregorian. It's the 229th day of Jon Jones's current age, the 50th prime number. His name sums to 30. His opponent, Cyril Gane, sums to 50. It will be a day with 14 date numerology on the Gregorian. If you write out 14, it sums to 112. Cyril Gane could become 11-2, like 112, for a fight record in his career with a loss. Jon Jones, he would become 21-1 for a UFC record with a win, a reflection of 112. And let's see what 82 sums to. Okay, so 82 sums to 132, just like World Heavyweight, if I can spell it, Championship. World Heavyweight Championship sums to 132, just like the number 82 sums to 132. And instead of Cyril Gane in his 13th fight getting his second win in a row, it could just be as simple as him becoming 8-2 for a UFC record with a loss. 82 sums to 132. World Heavyweight Championship sums to 132. Jon Jones, he can get his 18th win in a row if you don't count the no contest. 18, if you write it out, sums to 35. He's currently 35 years old. Get his 18th win in a row at the age of 35. 18 sums to 35. And I think that might be it for what I have for both fighters. Also, it's the 11th day of the 12th month for the Hebrew religious, which kind of has a longer extended look for a 112, which can also put Cyril Gane at 11-2 for a fight record with the loss. On top of it being 14-day numerology, 14 sums to 112. And that's about what I would put for both sides of this fight for right now. Like I said, I'm personally not going to be betting any money on this fight. I'll make a pick on this fight for my Patreon. And I had no problem making a video for you guys to show you both sides of the fight. But I'm not going to invest any money into this fight at all. It's kind of interesting that Jon Jones is the favorite in this fight, who hasn't stepped in the ring in 3 years. And he's sober now too, so I don't know how that's going to affect him and his fighting skills. But yet he's still the favorite. There are some numbers here for them. That 271 is definitely interesting for Jon Jones. The 50th prime number. Jones versus Gane sums to 58. Championship sums to 58. But on the flip side, it can just go for the twos. You can get a second loss, UFC, and for his career, 2 sums to 58. Cyril Gane can get a second win in a row. And Cyril Gane could become 9-1 in his 13th fight, 91 the 13th triangular. Jon Jones, 131, championship, 131, the 32nd prime. Cyril Gane is 32 years old. So, you can make a case for either side. So, I wish you guys the best of luck. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully this gives you insight to the fight, get you started on a decode, ask a decode that you might already have started. I really wish you guys the best of luck on who you decide to go with. I'll make a pick for Patreon, but I'm definitely not going to put any money on this fight. I don't feel the need to. I don't feel the urgency to. And sometimes the best bet to make is no bet at all. Keep the money in the pocket for another day. But I wish you guys the best of luck. Hopefully you win all the money in the world. And I really appreciate your support. I'll see you guys in the next video.